Hello everyone, Aethersong here, and in today's video we are going to be looking at the highly anticipated game Blue Protocol and everything we know about it so far, including what type of game it is, feedback from players from the tests, and the developers' responses, and development information about the game up until now. To start, let me first give a short summary of what type of game Blue Protocol is. Blue Protocol is an online action RPG being developed for PC by Bandai Namco Online and Bandai Namco Studios in Japan. The main city in the game allows for up to 200 players to be present at once, and you can join up with other players in the field areas or dungeons to take down enemies and battle bosses. One of the most significant traits of the game is its beautiful anime aesthetics. In making the game, the development team strive to replicate the feel of an anime movie. Players are able to customize their character with numerous choices, and then choose a class to step into the game world with. There are currently 5 classes announced: the Aegis Fighter, a well-balanced warrior wielding a sword and shield; the Twin Striker, an aggressive close-range class wielding 2 axes; the Blast Archer, a long-range bow class focused on team support and enemy debuffs; a Spellcaster, a magic-wielding class that uses the elements to take down enemies; and finally, the Heavy Smasher, a hammer-wielding class that can deal powerful blows. The game also features an immersive story with wonderfully crafted cutscenes and a large number of supporting characters. Apart from the story, players can join others in the field to take down enemies, form groups to farm dungeons for materials, participate in large-scale raid battles, or just enjoy the beautiful environments throughout the world. Next, let's take a step back and look at everything that has happened with Blue Protocol up until now. In June 2019, Blue Protocol's development was first announced. Following that, a closed alpha test was held in the following month of July. From that test, feedback was gathered, with the results being published on their site. Afterwards, there was around a 5-month period of silence that ended in February 2020, when the development team announced a closed beta test of the size of 50,000 testers would be held. This brought Blue Protocol back into the spotlight. Following this, they continued to hold 3 developer live streams on their channel, showcasing the game and building the hype. In April 2020, the month of the closed beta test arrived, with the announcement that they are looking for an additional 5,000 closed beta testers, bringing the total to 55,000. However, when the closed beta test was held, there were a large number of issues that troubled players, like bags quickly filling up and numerous items being unappraised. This forced players to make numerous trips to and from town. The mount system of the game was another hot point of criticism. The mount had an energy bar that would go down when active, and would become unusable when energy reached 0 until the player returned to town. Dungeons also had an issue where players would ignore all enemies and simply rush the boss. Issues like this led many players to view the game as unrefined, and end the test with a negative impression. Following the closed beta test, the development team held their 4th live stream in June and gave their closed beta feedback report. This went to address many of the points of concern players held with the test. First up, in regards to problems with bag size and the item appraisal system, they explained that the limited bag size and appraisal was related to circumstances surrounding the closed beta test, where they wanted players to frequently go to and from town to test the servers. However, they realized this was very inconvenient to players, and they would be making changes to bags in the future. To start, they stated that they would be looking at adjusting the initial bag size. In addition, the bag size will be able to be increased while playing the game. They also stressed that this inconvenience during the closed beta test is not because they plan to monetize the bag, simply that they wanted player movement between areas. As for a large number of items being unappraised until returning to town, they stated they have plans for players to later be able to gain items like this in an appraised state through gameplay. In addition, these appraised items will be able to be sent directly to storage from one's inventory. These responses in regards to bags and the appraisal system were largely well received and left many players being relieved that it is not an intentional inconvenience for later monetization. Next up, in regards to the mount energy system, they said that they would make changes where energy would not decrease while standing still. Also, they are looking at other ways to restore mount energy apart from returning to town. However, they stated they would not fully remove the energy system from the game. This response was received quite negatively. Many players felt like the energy system was simply an inconvenience and should be done away with, so they were disappointed to hear it would remain in the game. As for players being able to rush through the dungeon and ignore enemies, they stated that they are considering a number of solutions. For example, groups of enemies would need to be defeated in order to move forward instead of just one key enemy. Another idea was that if enemies were ignored, they would follow players all the way to the boss, making the final battle more difficult. Overall, while parts of the feedback report like mount energy were negatively received, players felt like their voices were being heard and were left hopeful for changes to come. In the next month, July 2020, the developers announced on Twitter that they would be focusing on developing the game with all the feedback they received. In the following 2 months, we were shown some small changes being made to the game, including angle adjustments and hair gradation features in character creation. Then in October 2020, the developers held another livestream and announced they would be holding a matching server stress test and that they were looking for 15,000 testers. This test would be held on the same closed beta test build of the game and would be focused on adjustments made to matchmaking and chat code. In the same livestream, new development info was also released, including the reveal of a desert city, a NPC companion system, and changes to the spellcaster class. After this, new development information of the game continued to be released on Twitter about once a month. This covers everything for 2020. Let's now look at what information was released in 2021. The first news of 2021 came in January on Twitter. We were given a glance of the shortcut ring in the game. Following the same trend from last year, new information continued to be released about once a month on Twitter. In February, we were given a glance of the creature called E, perhaps set to be some sort of pet in the game in the future. In March, we were shown a photo mode in development. Apart from Twitter, in May the developers held another live stream, giving us a large batch of new information. First, they announced that the main part of development that focused on feedback from the closed beta test was finished. This let us know that they are indeed making progress for the game's development. As such, one of the main focuses of the live stream were on the adjustments they made from player feedback. One of the major points of frustration from the closed beta test, player bag size, was touched upon. They announced that the bag size would be nearly unlimited, so players could stay in the field and gather materials for as long as they pleased. Another hot topic, the mount energy system, was also addressed. They announced that they changed their stance, and they would make it possible to ride mounts even if energy reached 0, meaning that it is possible to continuously ride mounts for as long as you like. The developers' change of stance on these 2 points in particular was met with much praise, and the game was seen to be moving in a very good direction. Apart from the closed beta feedback development, there were 3 major topics of new development also discussed. First was joint gestures. These are gestures performed between 2 players. One such gesture announced was a rock, paper, scissors system. Players will be able to play rock, paper, scissors with each other in-game. Another joint gesture revealed was hand-holding. Players will be able to hold hands and walk with each other. This can also be combined with the previously announced photo mode to take pictures. The next topic of development announced was the Ally Companion Feste. We had previously seen Jake, another character in the game acting as a companion. So we can guess more companions like this will be added in the future. The final development topic was the biggest reveal of the livestream, a new class for the game called the Heavy Smasher. This class wields a hammer and has a large single hit damage, acting as something of a sub-tank. A thing making this class unique is that the hammer also seems to have some sort of gun function to shoot blasts of energy as well. At the end of the livestream, we also learned that the game's opening theme song would be soon announced. A few days after the livestream, it was revealed that the song was called Mirai and was performed by Raruku An Shieru. A short anime video of the song was also shown online. Later in July, a special limited edition version of the song with special art was also announced. In August, information about new characters from the CD artwork was also revealed. Near the end of the same month, Blue Protocol also tweeted that they are looking for more development staff. With this, many fans were left feeling uneasy as they had been waiting for more big news, and still no release date has been announced. Like this, 2021 came to an end with no more information released, leaving fans wondering about the state of the game's development. That brings my general summary of Blue Protocol up until now to a close. So that leads us to ask, what's next? Well, there's not much we can do besides wait for the next big announcement. I, as much as any person, want to see the game released soon. But as the Miyamoto quote goes, a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. So I am happy to see the developers taking their time to improve the game. For those of you interested in videos of gameplay from the closed beta test and the matching stress test, be sure to check out my other videos on this channel. Along with those, I also have videos covering all the Blue Protocol news so far in more detail. I'll put links to my Blue Protocol video playlists in the description. Also, as new information is released, I will be sure to cover it here as well, so stay tuned for that in the future. As always, thanks for watching, and let me know if you are looking forward to Blue Protocol in the comments.